This is a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest winter storm update.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. It is a Friday, of course, the Friday before a big holiday weekend. Not the time that you want to see more snow, but it looks like we are going to get more snow today, anywhere from Washington, D.C. up through New York City and eventually into Boston. Now, from New York on northward into Boston, winter storm warnings already in effect. Still, the snow not yet there, but the winds are going to pick up as we head through the day. The snows will start by mid-morning around the New York City area, and by late this afternoon, and especially on toward rush hour. Not going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be a nightmare as you're heading home this evening, or if you're trying to get a jump start on your holiday weekend. It looks like travel could be a little on the treacherous side. We're going to show you all that coming up in just a moment, but we do have Bill Keneally standing by. He is in the Boston area, and he is preparing for the snow. Now, Bill, right now, not a lot going on in Boston, but are folks prepared for what's going to go on later on this afternoon?
I think so, Jody. Once again, it's not really too bad out here right now. Skies are fair. We saw the waning moon back behind me a few minutes ago. Some stars are out there now. It's cold out here, about 20 degrees, and the winds have started to pick up in the last half hour. We are over in Cambridge, a little bit north of the downtown area on the McGrath Highway. To my left is the big Museum of Science. On my right is Interstate 93 through a viaduct. I can see that roadway. A lot of folks out there on the road right now for the 6 o'clock hour. Everybody anticipating the snow to come in around the midday hour here. And again, the folks at Logan Airport are very antsy about all this. This is a busy holiday weekend coming up, and because of that, they have a big meeting scheduled this morning to plan some kind of a contingency, get some kind of sense of what they're going to do later on today and tonight. A lot of folks coming through here, heading out of here to go south, or coming in to go skiing up in Vermont and New Hampshire, and also a lot of the press corps coming in for the big primary in New Hampshire on Tuesday.
Do you think that folks maybe are going to head out of town a little early today for the holiday weekend, considering what's coming in this afternoon?
Well, talking to some of the folks around town, they suspect a lot of people are going to make a beeline out of here about the midday hour. I mean, normally they cut out early anyway on a Friday. This is a long holiday weekend. Most folks are off on Monday, and I think the sense of worry over the looming highway doom will probably get them out of here quickly earlier.
All right, Bill. Well, thanks for checking in with us.
Okay.
We'll be, in fact, checking back in about a half an hour, so stay warm.
Sure.
All right, that same area of low pressure now. We have two things happening. We have an area of low pressure that's just forming off the North Carolina coast, and we have an upper level low that is moved on through Iowa yesterday, and then right now is moving on through Paducah. We're talking about heavier snow bursts from Paducah all the way in through Nashville, and believe it or not, the snow is as far south as Birmingham, Alabama. Now, yesterday, around Des Moines, Iowa, we did have some heavier bursts of snow as this little system moved on through. Here's a good indication of how serious this little storm system can be. It's an upper level low right now moving through. Look at this guy here falling down, losing his glasses. Not a good scene there, but at least 3 inches or so of snow around Des Moines, Iowa. Yesterday, about 7 inches of snow being picked up in places like Ames. So we have had bursts of snow with this clipper-like system. It is an upper level low right now, but we think by later on this afternoon, or actually later on this morning, we expect this to combine with the surface low right now that is off North Carolina, and this whole thing is going to come together and move up the coast. In fact, let's show you what I'm talking about. We show you the satellite picture right now, and we'll point out some features for you on the map. All right, here is the little upper level disturbance that I'm talking about. You can sort of see the swirl right here in the satellite picture. Believe it or not, we have the snows all the way down from Birmingham and Huntsville down through Meridian this morning. Could even see a few flakes of snow around Atlanta, Georgia. And right now the surface low is just trying to get going right here. So as this rounds the bend, heads across Tennessee and across the Carolinas, that's when we're going to run into problems later on this morning. This is where the clipper moved. You can see we saw some areas that picked up between 6 and 12 inches of snow, and as we head on through the afternoon hours, our heaviest snow bands are going to be from down East Maine all the way in through Boston, New York City. Winter storm warnings are up throughout this area, and that's where we're expecting between 6 and 12 inches of in through Asheville. It is all snow. We could even see a little bit of rain and snow mixing in around Raleigh-Durham. And you can see here the snow bands coming in throughout Alabama. Not going to be a lasting snow, but what I think is it's going to be very, very windy. Northwest winds are building in behind this little system. Meanwhile, the winds are going to pick up out of the northeast. Well, that's why we call it a nor'easter, as this coastal low heads up the coastline. And I think by later on today and tonight, gale warnings and gale advisories will go up along the coast. We're going to be talking about some very high waves as we head on through the afternoon from Boston down through New York City. By tomorrow morning, the low itself should be up around the Cape and then head up into the Gulf of Maine. So I think through this afternoon and in through tomorrow morning will be the worst of the situation, but certainly that is the worst time for this to hit as folks are trying to get out of town for this President's Day weekend. We will continue to update you on this system all morning long and through the afternoon hours, so you want to join us here on the Weather Channel. But now we want to turn back to the studio with Will, and he's going to give us the details on the forecast.
Thanks a lot, Jody. We'll check in.
Action News continues now with Dave Franco, Rick Williams, and Monica Malpass.
Good morning again. It is 6:30 now on this Friday, February 16th. Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on Action News. A Philadelphia man is set to walk out of a Florida prison after allegedly killing his girlfriend here and dumping her body down south.
And debris litters a Fairmount Street as a building comes crumbling down.
But the big story on Action News this morning, batten down the hatches. We have another winter storm on the way. Highway crews are already poised for action along major highways, including here on the Schuylkill Expressway. Traffic obviously continues to move well at this hour, but that could change soon. For the very latest on the storm on our way, let's go to Dave Frankel in the AccuWeather forecast.
Okay, and we start with a winter weather advisory, Monica. The winter weather advisory posted by the National Weather Service for southeastern Pennsylvania. That means that we'll see some snow in southeastern Pennsylvania. It's a winter storm warning, which means the National Weather Service is expecting more snow in New Jersey and Delaware. And indeed, that's what AccuWeather thinks is going to happen here. We're going to see this arriving. It's already started in some spots. It will overspread the area over the morning rush hour and should stay with us right through the day, right through the afternoon, into this evening, and wind down by about 9 o'clock tonight. And when all is said and done, it looks like about 3 to 6 inches of accumulation in the city of Philadelphia. But further east, because this is a coastal storm in parts of interior sections of New Jersey and in parts of Delaware, so south and east, 6 to 12 inches are possible. The track of the storm is going to be critical in determining exactly who gets what accumulations. You get far enough away from the storm to the west, and you may just see flurries or a dusting out of this thing. Some areas may see nothing at all if you get far enough to the north and to the west. We're going to check out the picture live on Sky 6. Here's the scene down by the airport, Interstate 95, and you can see a fairly heavy traffic volume as folks, it seems, trying to get a jump on the storm. Morning rush hour in good shape so far. We're just starting to see the first reports of flurries in parts of Chester and Delaware counties. It'll come up and overspread the area over the next couple of hours. The second half of morning rush hour could be tricky, and afternoon and evening rush hour could be a mess as well.
Weather information for your neighborhood, only on the Weather Channel.